Good afternoon. I, Professor Radhika Malpani, welcome you all. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's start again. Good afternoon. I, Professor Radhika Malpani, welcome you all to the day 3 of FDP on prompt engineering and agentic AI for next generation teaching and research organized by the Department of Computer Engineering of Shalaka Foundation's Keystone School of Engineering. Before starting today's session, let us take a quick review of yesterday's session. Day 2 session was conducted by Mr. Rajesh Pandre sir on advanced prompt engineering techniques. Today's session will be conducted by Dr. Vivek Patil sir on introduction to agentic AI. With over 16 years of experience in academia and research, Dr. Vivek Patil sir is a true leader in the field of modern computing. He is currently an assistant professor at the Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology in Pune. Dr. Patil is not just a teacher but a prolific mentor who has trained over 3,000 learners and delivered more than 100 technical programs. His expertise spans the most cutting edge areas of technology, including generative AI, agentic AI, and machine learning. His career is marked by significant achievements, including a granted patent and 13 international research publications, successfully mentoring DST funded innovation projects, and being recognized as the best faculty mentor of Nasik City. Please join me in welcoming a dedicated researcher, a certified data science expert, and a visionary in the world of artificial intelligence, Dr. Vivek Patil, sir. I now request sir to please start the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I hope I'm audible. Yes. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for kind introduction. I truly appreciate the warm welcome, right? And again, I am grateful to the organizer for this opportunity to interact with such a distinguished group of faculty members, right? So thank you very much. And one more very important, I apologizing for joining late, right? So thank you very much for the waiting. We'll start quickly with the session. Yes, I think screen is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So thank you very much again. Okay. And thanks for the recap of yesterday's session, right? Yesterday's session was about the prompt engineering, right? And today we'll be discussing more about we'll be starting with the concept of agentic AI. Okay. So my session, the session which is assigned to me, it is related to the introduction to agentic AI, right? So we'll be focusing on the concept of agentic AI in the today's session. We'll be discussing what is agentic AI, why does it matter, right? And I'll try to give you some very simple demonstration that how it works, right? I'll be developing very basic code using the open source framework like Data, Streamlit, right? DuckDuckGo search engine we are going to use, and the Grok API that we'll be using, right? And we'll be discussing a few basic examples also throughout the session, right? So again, thank you very much for the inviting. Let's start with the agentic AI. So basically, why it matters, right? Why to go for that particular agentic AI? As we all know that AI is moving from generating the content to doing the work, right? Correct. I hope all of you are agree with me, right? So we all need to understand the next shift in the AI system now, right? Because the AI working on AI started from like couple of decades ago, right? But nowadays, if you see the scenario from last 3 to 4 years, the scenario of handling the AI system or working of AI system is like day by day changing rapidly, right? And currently we are in the era of agentic AI. So now we are using the AI system where we are not just asking the AI to write something, right? Let's say if you remember like couple of years ago we are using the GPT and Gemini when it is launched, right? We are using to we are generally asking to this kind of system to write the email, right? To write the essay kind of task. Okay. But now today's AI system is based on the agentic AI, right? So where we are not only asking to write something, but rather that we can ask any system to perform the overall goal. Overall goal means what? We'll just provide kind of input, and based on that, it should plan, search, compare, act, everything, right? So when we talk about the agentic AI, we are nowadays we are moving from generative AI to agentic AI, right? And if you remember, let's say for example, see, this is like an image generated from the generative AI using the Gemini, right? See, when we talk about the historical part, okay, evolution of AI, basically we can say that. So AI has evolved from the rule-based system, right? Rule-based system where we are executing the code or we are developing the AI system by using simple if then else kind of rule, right? Later on, the machine learning introduced, right? Machine learning introduced, that means what? We are working on the AI system which can predict something, which can classify something, which can group, let's say, for example, predicting the salary of the employee based on his experience, kind of thing, or rather predicting the house price based on the different parameters, let's say square feet area, that number of bedrooms and everything, right? Kind of thing. We can classify the let's say for example if you develop the system to identify the slow learner, fast learner and average learner student, so this kind of classification can be performed with the help of machine learning. Why? Because we do have a lot many algorithms in the machine learning, start from regression, classification, clustering and so on, right? So initial system was rule based system, then we jumped to the machine learning, right? And at some point, sorry, at some points we need some performance improvement in the sort of performance, right? So deep learning came into the focus, right? And then later on we all know that generative AI that came into the focus. So agentic AI, see, generative AI is a kind of generating something new which is previously that is unseen, right? And so that is the outcome of generative AI. But nowadays we are moving towards the next step. So agentic AI is something the we can say that next step of the generative AI, right? So agentic AI system not only generate the contents, right? Let's see, we all can generate the image nowadays. We all can generate the text nowadays, right? But now AI agents, these are kind of tool, okay? They can plan and they can execute their tasks autonomously, right? That was not possible with the help of earlier generative AI system, right? And agentic AI is somewhat say one step ahead of AI agents, right? So it is autonomous orchestrators, right, which managing the workflows. So shift from content creation to the autonomous problem solving. This is the area of generative AI to agentic AI system, right? So when we talk about the generative AI, we all know that we can create the text, images, code, audio, and designs, right? But again, when we deal with the generative AI, it required the human intervention, right? When human guide it with the prompt, then and then only output will be generated. But that is not case with the agentic AI, right? So if you might have heard the news about the Microsoft, you if you might have visited the Microsoft work trend. So index says that AI skilling and digital labor are top workforce strategies nowadays, right? So Microsoft says that they have entered into era of AI agents nowadays. Not only Microsoft, but I have seen the news of Accenture as well, Workday as well, right? So all these industry, these are some few examples, but most of these industry today they are demanding for the agentic AI systems, right? So market now values people who can build the workflows and agents, right? Not only write the prompts. Because if you know earlier, we all are working with the generative AI, and we can generate effective contents with the help of prompt. But as I said that the agentic AI system is not only about the creation of the content, but it is all about the autonomous problem solving, right? So that's why in nowadays all the IT industries, or rather we can say that the market, right? They demand the people who are skilled in the domain of agentic AI, not only writing the prompts. Okay, why this is so? Because AI can do the task using the tools, using the APIs, using the external system. Okay, see, to learn the agent, like how, to develop the agentic AI system, you must have knowledge about the detailed tech stack, right? But though it requires a detailed knowledge about the other tech stack, let's say RAG pipeline, everything, but still we'll be implementing the small agentic AI system today with the help of one open source framework that I'll demonstrate. But the agenda is what overall this presentation, to understand the working of agentic AI system, right? So as I said that the word is now moving from generative AI to agentic AI. Okay, so how we can compare? So generative AI creates the content, and AI agentic AI manages the multi-step workflow. Let's see how it is possible. We'll discuss step by step. Right? I hope all are listening. Yes. Yeah, I hope I'm audible and all are listening, right? So if you see this particular diagram, right? So if you see this diagram, you can easily identify the difference between the generative AI agents and agentic AI. See, earlier system, as I said, that earlier system was a rule-based system where if then rules were worked, right? Later on, machine learning, where we are performing the various operation based on the patterns and the data, right? Later on, deep learning came to the focus. Then natural language processing, then computer vision, right? After that, generative AI, that means what? It generates some unseen content. Let's say, for example, if you take the example of a small kid, right? If you like, uh, if you ask the kid to check the multiple images of the cat, and once kid understand the pattern of the cat, like let's say for example, cat is having four legs, 2 ears, and one tail. Okay, once kid observe all these features, and then if you ask the kid to generate to draw the diagram of cat, that kid will draw the diagram of cat, but that diagram won't be matched with the uh, earlier images which we have shown to that kid, right? That means what? Similar kind of generation is possible with the help of generative AI. That means what? It understand the input, and based on that it generates the output which is like previously unseen. Completely new kind of content can be generated with the help of generative AI. That's why we called it this particular generative AI system as a creative brain. Why creative brain? Because it can create the new images, new contents which are unseen earlier, right? But there is one more component which is called as AI agent. So what is basically AI agent? AI agent is kind of task performer, right? So what is mean by task performer basically? If you remember earlier days in when the GPT launched, right? At that time, you can only generate the content with the help of GPT, right? Let's say, for example, not only GPT or earlier generative AI system. If you ask to, let's say, for example, if you enter something, what is cricket? So you will get the details about the cricket. If you ask about the score of the cricket, it can generate any content, random content, right? But if you ask about the today's cricket, right, or if you ask about the today's news, so earlier generative AI system they are not capable to generate the content from the internet. Why? Because these are the normal generative AI system. But let's say, for example, nowadays we are having AI agents. So basically, what is AI agents? So AI agents are small programs. Okay, when we add these small programs into the generative AI system, uh, we can improve the efficiency of generative AI system. Let's say, for example, as I mentioned that earlier, if you search for the cricket match or score of the cricket match, it will generate the data which is already available with the database. But if you ask for the today's match, so and if AI agent is working with the generative AI, then what will happen? The AI agent, that particular agent will search the match details on the internet. It will check for the current match, and based on that, it will generate the output. Okay, that means what? That particular AI agent program is checking the content from the internet, and then it generates the content. So that means what? AI agents are like a task performer, right? Generative AI is like a creative brain which generates the unseen content, and AI agents are the task performer which perform the specific task, and that these tasks are helpful to the generative AI. Then what is agentic AI now, right? So so as I said that generative is kind of mastermind, right? So generative is creative brain, AI agents are task performers, and agentic AI is a mastermind. Sorry. So why I called it as a mastermind? Let's say, for example, you're sitting at one particular location, right? And if you wanted to book a restaurant, sit into the restaurant, right? So, and if you ask agentic AI system to book your seat into the restaurant, so how agentic AI system will work? So at that time, agentic AI system will use multiple AI agents, right? As I said, that AI agent means what? One small program which is dedicatedly perform a single task. So let's say, for example, in agentic AI system, if you ask one agent, right? Sorry, if you ask agent, uh, or rather, if you ask for the task that book the seat into the best restaurant. So let us assume that there can be four AI agents. First AI agent will check all the nearby location based on the distance. Second AI agent will check the reviews of all these agents. Third AI agent will compare the reviews of these agents. And fourth AI agent will recommend the best restaurant and book your seat into the restaurant, right? That means what? These four programs are working collaboratively to achieve your goal. What is the goal? To book your seat into the restaurant. That means what? When multiple agents are work collaboratively with each other and they achieve one common goal, then this kind of system is called as agentic AI system. So that complete system works autonomously, right? So if we compare the generative AI, agents and agentic AI, generative AI creates only unseen contents. AI agents can perform the task, whichever task that will be assigned to AI agents, it will perform that particular task. But agentic AI is your like your mastermind. That means what? Multiple AI agents are work collaboratively, autonomously. They can plan, they can execute, and they can achieve your goal, right? So this is the difference between generative AI, AI agent, and agentic AI. Creative brain, task performance, and mastermind. Okay. So let us understand in detail what is meant by creative brain, because we uh, see, to understand the concept of agentic AI, you must have the knowledge about the generative AI first, right? And most of you are already familiar with that, but still we'll discuss quickly about that. Why we call generative AI as a creative brain? Because generative AI uses the large language models. Okay, we I hope everyone is familiar with the everyone is familiar with the concept of large language model, right? Large language model, that means what, already available fine-tuned data set, right? So generative AI system using that LLM and generative model create the new contents with the help of that LLMs, right? So what kind of content can be generated with the help of generative AI? So generative AI can generate the text, generative AI can generate the images, audios, code, design, whatnot, right? Based on the training data. Okay, so by predicting the patterns and structure learned from the massive data set, it will generate the text, audios, images, videos, everything, right? So this is how your generative AI systems work. Getting this? So what are the strength of generative AI then? So when we talk about generative AI is creativity. Okay, as I said that it generates the unseen data. That means what? It creates something new. And see, creative at skill. That means what? It can generate. Let's say, for example, if you are asking that AI model to write an email and it will generate the content for email, then you ask that, no, please generate the email in short. So it will generate again the email in short. Again, if you ask to generate the email in 50 sentences, so again it will generate into the 50 sentences. If you ask them, no, generate email in 15 words, so it will generate only 15 words. That means what? Creativity at scale over there, right? It produces human like content, high quality outputs, right? And it democratizes the creation. It makes the advanced design, writing accessible, useful in the education, research, business automation, art. In every field, it is useful, right? And nowadays, we all know that we all are using that generative AI, right, for the like multiple purpose in our domain. Okay, but again, though generative AI is capable of creating the new content, but there are a lot of limitations for that. Okay, generative AI is having lack of true understanding or reasoning, right? Because most of the AI system clearly mention that the data may be incorrect, so please verify the data before use, right? uh, then hallucination, we all know that fabricated but confident output generated. If you ask for the like, suppose the AI agent is not with the generative AI, and if you ask to search for the today's news, it will generate the content for the today's news, though the news is not what we can say that the correct news, right? So it fabricated but confident outputs. And generative AI is only generate the contents, right? So it cannot plan or manage the multi-step tasks without the guidance. Based on the human prompts, it generates the output. So these are the limitations for the generative AI. Okay, so what is the analogy? It's like a creative brain, right? That can imagine and produce the ideas, but it needs the director. Director means what? Either human or nowadays agents. Agents guide the AI system to generate the output, right? So to guide what to create. So this is what about the generative AI. When we talk about the AI agent, as I said, that AI agent is the task performer, right? So if you ask the AI agent to perform any particular task, it will generate that task, it achieve that task, right? So what they are basically. So when we talk about the AI agents, so AI agents are like smart assistant that can do task for you, right? They don't just answer the question, but they can also take the action. Okay, that means it is not useful to generate the contents only. If you ask a agent to search the today's news, it will check the different internet sources, and based on the date, it will generate the content and it will show it to you. If you ask for the live score, it will generate the content. It will search on the internet, and based on it will generate the content. So they don't just answer the questions; they can also take the action. Okay, and AI agents can connect with the LLM with the tools, apps. Like, so, we'll be discussing the small example at the time. You'll get clear idea about that. But yes, AI agents are the task achiever. So what are the core capabilities, right? What are the core capabilities of AI agents? So it automates a small task like booking a flight, filling a form, right? It uses the external tools like calculator, weather app, Google search. Getting this? It also follow the short instruction to complete one job at a time. Let's say, for example, if you ask the uh, let's say calendar assistant, you might have used, I know all of you are all of you are using this, a calendar assistant, right? That books a meeting, a slot after checking the availability. So this kind of task can be possible with the help of AI agents, right? So AI agents can perform one focused job at a time. Okay. So what are the strength of AI agent? As it is a task performer, so it is reliable in doing a specific task, clear task, right? And as I said that one simple AI agent can search the content for you, or rather, if you assign the multiple tasks, it can perform the multiple tasks. I have given one example earlier, right? If you wanted to book the seat in the best restaurant nearby your location, so one AI agent will clearly check the distance of the restaurant which are nearby you. Other AI agent will do the specific task of checking the reviews only. Third AI agent will do the specific task for the comparison only, right? So it can save the time by handling routine work. Okay, it is reliable in doing specific tasks. And but obviously, these kind of application are useful in the business automation, customer support, and productivity apps, right? So these are the strength. Though again, see, we all know that for every system there is an advantage and disadvantage, but or we can say that strength or limitations, right? As I said that the generative AI is having some limitations as well. Likewise, for the AI agents also having some kind of limitations, right? So what are the AI limitations for that? It work best only for simple and focused job. It cannot perform the multiple tasks at a one time, right? It depend on the short term memory, right? Forget once the task is done. If you ask to perform a single task, it will uh, perform that particular task and immediately after it forget that task, right? So it need instruction for each job, not fully independent, right? So you need to provide the instruction to execute that particular task, and it will perform that particular task. So, what is the simple analogy behind the AI agents? It's like a cook in your kitchen, right? Who prepares only one dish at a time when you tell them what to do. It is smart and helpful, but not a manager. It cannot manage the whole kitchen. Its job is just to cook one dish, not to manage everything, not to getting the order, not to place the order, not to clean the table. Its work is to cook the one dish at a time, right? So this is your AI agents. Now, agentic AI. Okay, so what is agentic AI basically? So agentic AI, as I said, that it's a next generation of AI, right? Where all the agents working together, right? So what is the strength of agentic AI? Agentic AI can plan, agentic AI can reason, agentic AI can delegate and replan also, right? Let's say, for example, if you develop any agentic AI based system where a researcher, let's say, for example, I'm going to develop a researcher assistant, right? So that researcher assistant can perform the various tasks. uh, let's say, for example, if you have developed the agentic AI system, and that agentic AI system you want for your as like your researcher assistant. So where one program, one AI agent will search for the papers, right? Second AI agent will summarize them, and third AI agent will draft them a complete report, right? That means what? Multiple agents can working together by planning, by reasoning, right? So agentic AI system is like your project manager that plans, reason, and control multiple agents at a time. So it is not just a one tool, but it is a whole system where multiple agents are working together. So what are the core capabilities of that? As I said that generative AI creates the new content. AI agent can perform the simple task. But agentic AI, yes, agentic AI can plan the multi-step task. Right? So, for example, planning a holiday from visa to hotel, right? It coordinates many agents. Let's say flight booking, weather check, payments. Has long-term memory to track the progress over the time, right? Why? Because multiple agents are working together. It may possible that another agent wants some output from the previous agent, kind of thing. So in agentic AI system, it requires long-term memory to track the progress over the time, right? It adapts with the feedback if thing changes. Let's, for example, if you ask the agentic AI system to book flight, then it will definitely book a seat into the flight, right? But what will happen if flight get cancelled? So it adapt the change and work accordingly. It will reply to that, right? So autonomously it will work. Though agentic AI system uh, See, the title is by mistaken. I have taken here. Agents. It's the agentic AI, right? So though it is multi-step, but it is very complex. Why? Because multiple agents are working together here. So very complex system, harder to rebuild and manage, and it needs guardrails to avoid mistakes. Okay, so you can say that my multi-agent system is still evolving and under the research. You can say that. So what is the simple analogy for that? The simple analogy is like the agentic AI system is like a smart kitchen manager. It doesn't cook one dish, right? So it check the groceries, it plan the recipes, it manage the appliances, and it serve the full meal for you. This is your agentic AI system. So if you see the comparative lens quickly, generative AI versus agentic AI versus AI agents, when we compare them across the key aspect, what is the difference between them? Core role and purpose. So what is the role of generative AI? It is like a creative engine. It generates the text, images, code, or music. Right? You can use the generative AI system to create the text, images, code, or music. It works as a super autocomplete. Content creation, right? Agents, yes, it is used to these are using some kind of tools to execute the specific instrumentation, right? Purpose what? Reliable assistant for the focus task. And if you see technically, right, how generative AI agents and agentic AI work? Generative AI system uses LLM only. AI agents uses LLM plus tool, but because with the help of tool, it can perform the specific task. But when we talk about agentic AI system not only uses the LLM, but it against the multiple agents and the planner to perform the specific task, not only specific task, to perform the multiple tasks in order to achieve one common goal, right? So comparatively, if we see that technically, generative AI is like a creative brain, but again it uses LLM. Agent is like your task performer, but again to perform this task, it required LLM plus tool. Agentic AI is like mastermind. Why mastermind? Because it autonomously work, but to work perform the task autonomously, it requires LLM, multi agents, and planner for that, right? So LLM only brain that we have already discussed. Working we have already discussed. AI agents also we have discussed that it is a tool. It requires a tool to perform a specific task, right? And agentic AI is a system where multiple agents with the tool, planner, and module for work control, right? So in agentic AI system, it's a long memory plus feedback loops, right? So everything is there in the agentic AI system. So when we check the autonomy level for that, see, generative AI creates the new content, so it is having low autonomy, right? It cannot take action on their own. They wait for the human prompt. But obviously, when you are using the chat GPT, it wait for the human prompt and based on it process it and return the output. They don't proactively decide what to do next, right? But agentic AI, it's a high autonomy. It can independently decide, plan, and replan, right? So unlike generative AI or AI agents, agentic AI doesn't wait for a human to give the step-by-step instruction. It can analyze a goal and decide which action are necessary to achieve, right? So example, planning a complete holiday, it can decide to check visa requirements, then flights, then hotels without being prompted for each step, right? So analogy, generative AI is like your simple writer where AI agents are assistant for that. And when we talk about agentic AI is like your project manager, right? If you see the basic examples for that again, generative AI can use to write the essay, to generate the image, to draft the code, right? Very simple task can be possibly level of generative AI. But AI agents are the moderate. It can book a flight, it can automate email, it can query database. But one task at a time again, right? And when you talk about agentic AI can plan whole trip, start from to flight to hotel to weather to activities, everything. It executes workflow with the independent steps. These in this way, generative AI agents and agentic AI differ from each other, right? Adaptability, as generative AI only generative contents, so no adaptability. It only respond to the prompt. Okay, and when we talk about the AI agents can adapt slightly within the given task. Okay, whereas agentic AI fully adaptive. Okay, it uses the feedback loops to replan. If something changes, it works accordingly. So this is a question for you. If AI can manage the projects independently, then what will be the new role of the humans? Anyone? Is anyone is listening? Yeah, I hope everyone is listening, right? Anyone can answer. If AI can manage the projects independently, what will be the new role for the humans then? Another question is very interesting, right? Will Agentic AI reduce the importance of specialists or create new kind of specialist because it performs the task autonomously, right? So universities start teaching workflow orchestration with the AI rather than just prompt engineering. What is your opinion for that? If anyone is interested, can reply for these answer questions, right? No question. I hope I'm audible clearly. Give a good prompt or correct prompt. That was one question. Suvarna madam, what is your question? Give good prompt or correct prompt. Okay. I hope you understand the concept of the agentic AI system. If you have any query, you can ask me. Meanwhile, I'll open the another presentation. I hope my screen is visible. Okay. I will demonstrate the working of the simple AI agentic AI system where only I'll be using only single agent to perform the task. Is anyone interested to implement with me? I'm going to implement one small system. Is there anyone who wanted to implement parallel with me? Okay. So now I'll be design one system, right? Let's say for example, I hope screen is visible. Everyone is listening for that. So I'll be using the fire data grok streamlit, right? I'll be using all these tools or tech stack, we can say that, to implement that small system, right? So here I'm going to implement one kind of chat application, right? Where you can see that how the AI agent will work or the system will work, right? So I'm using the fire data grok streamlit, and also I'll be using the DuckDuckGo, right? Why this tech stack I'm going to use? Because this stack is very simple, and it is easy to understand. It is kind of beginner friendly because this session is about the introduction to agentic AI. So intentionally I have chosen this framework, right? So it these all these will help to build the real AI agents with very little code, right? Okay, so I'm going to use the this framework fire data grok and the streamlit. Okay. So basically, what is fire data? So fire data is a framework which is used to build the AI agent easily, right? So it connects the LLM models, tools, and UI together. So here we are going to use the Streamlit for the designing purpose. Okay, so we are going to develop one chatbot that can search the web and answer the question if required, right? So it connects the LLM model, tools, and UI together. So it will help to build the intelligent assistant quickly. Okay, so this kind of framework, like let's say for example, if I'm talking about the fire data. So fire data framework is used generally for the chatbots, research engines, and automation agents to develop these kind of agents, right? So as this session is about introduction, so that's why I'm focusing on the beginner friendly frameworks. So why fire data is useful for beginners? Because it is very simple, and to create the AI agents, we'll be creating one simple AI agents. You will see that it's only 4 line of code to create that AI agent, right? So if you see that less coding is required for that, okay, and there is a built-in support for the tools, okay, and we'll be using the LLM. So through Grok, we are going to use the LLM. We are going to use the Llama model, okay. So it will be very easy integration with the LLM models, all right. Why to go for the fire data? What are the features of fire data, right? So fire data, generally you can say that it's an agent based architecture, right? And as we are going to use the DuckDuckGo as well, right? DuckDuckGo as well, similarity with as well, right? So DuckDuckGo especially, so it's a tool that can easily integrate with the help of fire data. Fire data not only for this to develop the single agent only, but yes, fire data can be used to design the multi-agent support system. Okay, it is having the good memory support. Fire data can work with the different LLM inference like Grok, like OpenAI, and etc. So only fire data is there? No. We have long chain, we have AutoGen, we have Creo AI, we have semantic kernel, we have Llama index. These are the various alternatives to the fire data, right? Okay. So not only fire data, but we are going to use the Grok. Okay. Grok provides the fast LLM inference. That's why I'm going to use the Grok, but you can use the OpenAI and other as well, right? Grok is used to run the AI models quickly. Okay. It works like OpenAI API. It used inside the AI agents, right? Okay. So why to go for the Grok? See, we do have a lot of many options, but Grok is free to use. Again, very fast responses, very simple, and again, it is simple API, right? It is easy integration with the fire data, right? So what are the features of Grok? So you can say that ultra fast LLM inference. Uh, okay, it supports the Llama models. We are going to use the Llama model here. API based usage. Yes, we'll be discussing that how to use the API. Low latency responses, right? That means what? It quickly generates data. Yes. So whether to go for only for the Grok? No. We can go for the OpenAI, Anthropic, Google Gemini, Hugging Face Inference, Olama, anything, right? Yes. I hope it is clear. Now, for the UI, we are going to use the Streamlit, but to only we can use the Streamlit. No, but yes, for me, for this particular session, we'll be using the Streamlit. Why Streamlit? Streamlit is the Python UI framework which is used to build the web apps quickly. Okay, generally we require the HTML, CSS, and other front end technology knowledge to develop the UI. Yes, but this Streamlit is the Python UI framework. That means what? Which is used to build the web applications quickly. No front end knowledge is needed. Ideal for AI apps, right? So why Streamlit is helpful for beginners? We'll be discussing the small code, then you will get idea that it is very simple syntax is there, right? And though HTML CSS is not required because just for the basic design, we do not require HTML CSS, right? But yes, if suppose you wanted to, if you want the better design, right? So in that case, you require the HTML CSS, right? But again, it is not mandatory for basic design. Okay, fast development, perfect for AI demos, right? So that's why we'll be using this Streamlit, right? So what are the features for that? As I said that it provides a better UI. So chat UI support is there, interactive widgets are there, real-time updates is there, easy deployment is there, lot many things, right? So only Streamlit is there? No, there are a lot many options. I have mentioned few of them. Let's say Gradiv is there, Flask is there, Fast API plus React is there, Dash is there, Parallel is there, right? Correct? Any doubt? Okay. So as I said that we are going to use the Fire Data framework, which is open source framework, right? Again, we'll be using uh, the Grok just for the LLM inference. We are going to use the Streamlit for the UI purpose, and DuckDuckGo also we are going to use. See, uh, in our application, if required, it will search the data from the internet. But if suppose our prompt do not require the internet search, then the data will be generated from the LLM, right? But still we'll be adding the DuckDuckGo because DuckDuckGo is the search engine. Okay, it works like a Google search, just to understand, right? And it is used to search information from internet, right? It focuses on privacy. We are not going to cover this particular part, privacy part, but yes, DuckDuckGo will be work like search engine. So, what are the basic example? If you see that, if you ask the latest AI news, as I earlier I have given this example, right? So, DuckDuckGo uh, can use to find out, search the latest AI news. DuckDuckGo searches the web and return the result, right? So, these four tech stack we are going to use, right? Fire data, Grok, Streamlit, and DuckDuckGo. Okay, sure. So, we'll start for the implementation. I hope the screen was visible. Yes, someone replied no. Okay, no problem. Screen is visible now. Surode sir, is screen is visible. Radhika madam. Anyone reply? Surode sir, is screen is visible. Radhika madam. Okay, no problem. So I'll be sharing the entire screen now. It is not visible, right?
No, sir, your screen is
Yes.
not visible.
Oh, okay. I think entire screen is visible now, right? Yes, it is visible. Is screen is visible. Yes. Anyone please reply, because I have shared the screen. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So see that this kind of the application we are going to develop now. Like for example, this completely UI is designed with the help of Streamlit, right? And I'm going to use the AI agent framework fire data. Okay, and if suppose if you want to search the information, let's say for example this kind of bot, let's say hello, so it will generate the content for that. Okay, let's say what is AI. So that might use the DuckDuckGo if required, but otherwise it will generate the output. So we are going to design this kind of system in next 1 hour, right? Next 45 minutes. Okay, so we are going to develop this kind of system now. I hope all are listening. Is there anyone who wanted to implement with me parallelly? Because I'll be waiting when you are implementing with me. I can wait for you. Once you're done with the code, you can unmute, and then we'll be. Yes, it is visible now. Okay, so let's just a second. Okay, so we'll be developing one system, right? Where we are going to use the fire data, we are going to use the grok, we are going to use the streamlit and DuckDuckGo, right? So generally, what will it flow? See, as we have discussed, we have designed one system. We are going to design one system where the workflow of the system will be like this. Flow will be like this. What user will provide the input on Streamlit, right? Then from Streamlit to it, it will go to the fire data. Okay, fire data will check the information through LLM inference using Grok, and if required, it will check for the DuckDuckGo, right? And DuckDuckGo will provide the answer. Okay, so this will be the flow of our answer on UI. So this will be the flow of our application. So this kind of application we are going to generate use the Agentic AI, right? Okay. And what we are going to develop here, we are going to build a chatbot. Okay. What we are going to build? We are going to build a chatbot. Okay. Again, I'll explain the use of each and every one. We are going to use the fire data. Why fire data? Okay. It's used to build the chatbot. Okay, we are going to use the grok. Why we are going to why we are going to use the grok? Because it will get the faster model responses. Okay, then we are going to use the streamlit. Why streamlit we are going to use? Just for the UI, right? Interactive UI. And we are going to use the DuckDuckGo. Why we are going to use the DuckDuckGo? If suppose if it requires, it will fetch the latest information, okay, from the internet, right? So this is how we are going to use all these models, right? So I'll start for the coding. So what I have done here, I have created the new code with the name fdp.py. Okay, here I am going to write the code line by line. Okay, so I hope that everyone is good in the Python. That I hope, right? So I'm starting with the demonstration. We required. I hope just a second. I'll be sharing the complete screen. So entire screen is visible. Okay. So I'm going to import few libraries here. I required OS because I'm going to use the grok. I'll explain this point. Okay. I'm importing the streamlit. Okay. I'm going to import the file data. Let's say for example from file.agent. Okay. I'm going to import the agent. Okay. Let's say from file model, file.model dot grok. I'm going to import the grok. Okay. Import agent, import grok. Okay. Then from, let's say from file tools, I'm going to what? DuckDuckGo, because I have installed everything, right? So DuckDuckGo, what I'm going to import? DuckDuckGo. So all these libraries I required. So what is the next task for me? I'll be configure grok API key, right? So how to I need to mention the grok here, right? Grok API key, grok API key. I need to pass my grok API key. First, I'll show all these, you can see that Google Fire Data. Okay, so you can see that this is the official website of Fire Data. I'm going to use the Fire Data. Fire Data, you can see that Fire Data is framework which is used to building the multi-agents and workflow, right? That's why we are going to use the Fire Data. Okay, so it is used to build the agents and workflow to automate the intelligent work, right? So this file data we are going to, it not only uses this it will be develop the system with the single agent, but yes, multi-agent system can be developed with the help of file data. Again, I'll show you the grok, right? So if you search on the Google, it's grok. See, so you can see that grok is LLM inference, right? That means what? Through that you can access the LLM model. I'm assuming that you are familiar with the LLM concept, right? So this is about the grok. You can generate the API keys from here, right? So I have already generated the key. If you don't have generated that key, simply search for the grok, okay, API keys, and you can click on the create API key, and then you can create the key. But I have already created the key, so I'll be using that created key, right? So this is my key, but obviously I'm going to delete this key later on. Do not share this key with anyone, right? So I'll be deleting this key once I'm done with this workshop, right? Okay. So this is how you can use the key. Okay, what is the flow? See what I have done. What I have done as of now. Step one, I have imported all the required libraries, all the required libraries, right? Step two, what I have done here, I have set up the grok key. How? You can visit the grok site, you can create the new API keys. Clear? Now I want something on the output, on the UI part. So for that I'm going to use the, or rather I'll be set up the Streamlit page, right? So set up the Streamlit page. How to set up the Streamlit page? Say I have already imported the Streamlit. What is Streamlit? You can check. Those who are familiar with the Streamlit, that is okay. Otherwise, you can check here Streamlit. Right. So Streamlit is again open source framework for data scientists. So you can use the different widgets which are available on the Streamlit, right? So you can check the docs. You can check the different widgets are available over here, right? Whenever you will get free time, you can check all the widgets which are available with the Streamlit, right? So lot many things are there in this Streamlit. It is very interesting, right? But now directly I'm start with the code because we don't have that much of time. So I'm going to set the page. See, these are the built-in what we can say that methods. So page title is one variable from me. I'm going to use that. Let's say for example demo AI assistant page, right? Then I'll be using the page icon. Currently the page icon I don't have, so I'll keep it blank. Page icon is equal to blank, and layout, let's say for example layout is wide. Layout is wide means what? I'll show you what is mean by this. Okay, so how to execute this code? Though I am writing this code in the Python file, but I'm using the Streamlit, so it is a Python framework, right? So I'm using the command like Streamlit run, and name of the program, the name of the program is fdp.py. So if you see that, you can see that name is already the name we have given to the page, demo AI assistant, so that is visible over here, right? So here Streamlit page configuration. Okay, so if you see that currently the complete blank page you will get, right? So now see page icon, that means what, the icon will be replaced by this, right? And again the layout is wide, that means what, you can use the complete area of your web page, right? Then see, as I said that if you want you can apply the CSS, if you don't want you cannot, like you can skip that part, right? So I'm using here the sidebar. Okay, so for that I'm using the code of Streamlit here. I'll explain the code. Very simple code is that. Okay, so it's a sidebar I'm going to use here. How to use this sidebar? See, command is with st.sidebar. Okay, st.sidebar, and into that, let's say for example I have one image with me with the name logo.png. You can see that this is the image which is with me now, right? So I'm going to use this image, st.image. So logo.png, right? And the width, I'll give that 120 pixel. So if you say that page, you can see sidebar is there, and that sidebar you can open close. See, no HTML CSS code is there, right? Simply I have added this logo. I hope it is very easy, right? So currently I don't let's, for example, what we are developing, we are developing one chatbot. So I'll write markdown is just for the formatting purpose, right? So you can see that I have only separated these like logo and the other information. So what information that I want to show here? So again, st.markdown. Markdown, that means what? Whatever content text you will be pasting here, or adding here, it will be systematically, visible on the output screen, right? So you can write anything here inside that. Let's say, for example, so what I'm going to add here in the markdown, this is AI system. You can see that text appears here, right? Which will answer the question. Okay, so you can see that the text will be here, right? So okay, so you will get this kind of text here. Now you can write here, let's say, for example, st.markdown again, just to format, right? st.markdown. Okay, kind of thing. And now here you can mention that yes, we are active with the agent now, right? Spelling mistake, I guess. Is double A, double C, right? Success. Yes, AI agent is active now. So this is kind of message that I have passed. Right now, I'm going to start with the main page. Right. So in the main page, I will be providing some title. So we'll be starting with the main page. On main page, what I'm going to do? I'm going to provide the title. Let's say for st.title. Okay. What title? Let's say demo chatbot, demo to chat assistant. Right. You can see the text will appear here, demo chat assistant, right? You can write something like this. Mm, currently I don't want this context into the sidebar. So see, this is Python, so indentation is there up to this. So now main page, I'm not going to use this indentation, so that text will be appear on the main page here, demo chat assistant, right? So here I'm going to write the code for that. So you can write something, let's say, for example, st.markdown. So ask any question, okay, related to AI, ML, or technology. Okay. So see, the text will appear here. Now I'm going to write the heart of this program. I'm going to create one agent, because fire data is very helpful to create the agent, right? So agent is the variable that I am going to use. Then from using agent, I am going to create the agent, right? So what are the steps for that? As I said, that what we are going to use. Streamlit for UI, fire data is the framework where I can write the complete code, right? But the important point is what? Grok. Grok will fetch the LLM model. I'm going to use here Llama model, Llama 3.1, right? So how? In A agent, I'll be writing the model. Which model? I'm going to use the Grok. Okay, and how Grok will access? Because we have already provided a key here from the Grok, right? So Grok, what it will do? Grok will call any LLM. I'll be specifying the LLM here because I have checked this LLM before FDP. So let's say, for example, Llama. Okay, Llama. I'm going to use the 3.1. This is the version of this particular LLM, 8B, right? Instant. So this agent, so again, there won't be any change in the output screen because I'm just creating one agent now here, right? So then I'm going to use the tools. So which tool I'm going to use? DuckDuckGo, correct? DuckDuckGo. Now, here is very important, right? So I'm going to provide the instructions. So what is the instructions? That, see, whatever instructions that you are going to provide here, likewise only your AI agent will work. Getting my point? Let's say, for example, I'm telling that AI agent is that, okay. See, now you can see my instruction. What is instruction I'm providing here? See, you are and AI, you are an AI research assistant, right? Which search the web and give clear and detailed, clear and detailed answers. That means what? I am providing role to the AI agent. This AI agent should act, it's not like a summarizer of the text, but rather it should work like a AI research assistant, which if required, it should search the information from the internet and give the clear and detailed answer for every input. So this is kind of role I have assigned using the instruction. And whatever the content will be generated, that content will be must be into the proper formatting, right? So that's why I'll be writing here markdown. Markdown, that means what? Proper formatting. So markdown true. Okay. Again you won't get anything on the what is happening here. Line number 44, invalid syntax. Okay, something is missing here. So AI agent I have used. Oh, comma is missing here, right? And agent is equal to agent. This is correct. Let me say this kind of small change required. I have written model is equal to grok id llama model 3.18b instant. Yes, I have provided comma. I have mentioned the tools, which is the DuckDuckGo here. DuckDuckGo is correctly mentioned. Opening, closing round bracket is correct. instructions I have provided here. That instructions, okay. You are an AI researcher. Instruction spelling is correct. Okay. So comma required here. Yes, comma was missing here. Okay. So yes. So this is how I have created agent. This is a very important concept, right? See, I am writing the code of the agent here. Now, I'll be providing some kind of session state here if required, right? So I'm writing here. Let's say, for example, if messages, I'm going to provide the messages here, right? If messages not in, not in what? st.session. That means what? I'm going to provide the session state here. Session, that means what? The memory for that. Memory for the input, right? If the not is into that, so st.session state dot messages is equal to blank subscript, or it will display the previous message. So what does it mean? That I'll explain, don't worry, because we have not entered any input into the UI, right? So I'll be explaining this line, don't worry, but time being it is just for the memory, right? So here I am writing the code that with what? st dot chart message, right? I'll be providing the role. I'll be providing the role. Okay. Now, what role? st dot markdown. st dot markdown. Okay. Where message will be your content. What message? Message will be your content. Correct. So this is how. Again, then I'll be taking some kind of chart input from the user. So user input I'm going to take here. User input. Okay. User input, that means what? Whatever I'll be entering where? Into the chart input. Okay. I mean, I'm just mentioning here, ask your question, right? Ask your question. So it is kind of text box here, right? Message is not defined. Where is that message? Just check line number 55. Session state I have taken. Session state equal message I have taken here. Okay. So I have not defined the message here. No problem. So what I'll do here, I'll write for what? For message. I'm taking that variable in what? In st.session state. st.session state dot messages. Okay, into that code I'll be writing. Okay. Yes, ask your query here. So currently I have not entered anything. So chatbot you can see here, right? I think we have only 20 minutes, right? So what I'll do, I am having that complete code. So I'll copy the remaining code and explain that particular code, what I have done here, right? So simply copy.
Yes, any questions from the participant?
Madam, session is still going on. Hello? Session is not ended.
Yes,
Hello?
yes, sir. I'm asking questions.
Just a minute. Is my screen visible?
Sir, no, sir.
Just a minute. So it's only 20 minutes remaining. So instead of writing code line by line, and I'll directly demonstrating, right? So I'll show that complete code. Okay. So you can see that. I'll quickly explain what I've done here because we don't have that much of time. Yes. So what I have done here, I have created that agent. You can see that model grok, DuckDuckGo instruction, right? Then this is for the message state. That means what? If you see that, just a second, I'm again sharing the entire screen. Entire screen is there. Share. So if you see that, I'm writing hello. So it will generate the content for that. Hello. But how it is going to generate the content? If you see, whatever content will be generated, that content will be generated and stored into the session, right? So if you write what is AI, what is AI? So it I can generate some error. I have executed the which code? Which code I have executed? Yes, AI. So it will think and it will generate the output. Yes, AI research assistant, right? What is machine learning? So it will think and it will generate, yes, it will generate the content. Getting this? So what is happening here basically? See, if you ask something, right? So it will search for the user role. So what is the user role here? We have mentioned the role. What role may have mentioned that? We have mentioned that it should act like a researcher, right? And based on that, it generates whatever input you are providing. Based on that, it will generate the output, right? Just like your research agent, right? Getting this point? And how it is responding? You can see that whatever input that we are going to provide, based on that it should think. So I have provided some kind of spinner over here and it generates the response based on this command. agent dot run. So based on the user input, agent means what? This agent I have mentioned here, and that agent will check with the grok, agent will check with the duckduckgo, AI agent will work as a research assistant, and it will generate the content for that. Getting my point? And based on that, it generates some response. So whatever content it will be responding will be stored into the answer. If suppose in case I'll be in executing the blank window or something else, so that might generate kind of error or something else, right? So this is possible. This exception can be handled with the help of this. Otherwise, if everything is correct, the role is assistant is correct, content answer is correct, it will be generate the code automatically, right? And as I said that you do not require the knowledge of HTML CSS, but if you want to design these kind of borders and everything, so you can add the basic code of CSS. We all know that you can apply the background color, you can apply the border radius to provide this curve shape and everything, right? That means what? If you see that with the simple code, this kind of code, see I have used only one single agent into that multi-agent system, you can develop the complete agentic AI system. Getting my point? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, great. So this is how, and see, not only this code, I'll share the, just a second, entire screen I'm going to share. This was a simple agent. Just a second. I have developed one multi-agent system also. Very basic code base. It is not the rocket science, very simple code that I have generated. Just a second. Streamlit run. Let's see notes. See, enter the notes. Let's say, for example, Google. What is AI? So let's say, uh, for example, just for the reference, I'm using this content and pasted over here. So it will generate this summary. See, based on the content, it generates the summary. But here, if you see the code for that, what I have done, I have used the grok, right? I use that particular agent for that, and what I have given the instruction, like a summary. Getting this point? So on the button, it should generate. Here also single agent works, right? Summary agent. Let's say for example ms. Yes, here I'll executing this particular code. I'll executing the code here. Let's say ms multi-agent system. The name I have given here. So answer your question. Ask your question. What is machine learning, right? So this is my question. So here what I have done here, I have developed the two, I have mentioned the two agents. Again, the code of agent is like this. First agent is the you can see that first agent is research agent, role search information, model I have used the same model, duckduckgo, instruction you check the web and collect the useful information. So this is research agent. Whatever I'm going to search, that will be generated here. Second agent, I have used the summary agent. Whatever content has been generated from this research agent, that will be summarized using the summary agent, right? Summary agent. That means what? Research agent and summary agent. These two agents will be there. So if you check, first agent will check the content from the internet or from the LLM. It will generate the output, and second agent will summarize that output and it will generate the content. Getting this point? So final answer, it is in summarized format. See what will happen. First agent will check the information, it will generate the content. Okay, and behind the scene, the second agent will collect that information and summarize and display it over here, right? So this is how multi-agent system will work. Getting this? So single agent, you can see that multi-agent. You can see that I have provided only user input, and based on that, that system completely autonomously work. And we, as you know, if you recap our session, right, we have started to discussion from the generative AI to AI agent to agentic AI, where multiple AI agents work together to achieve one common task. So here you can see that I have used one agent to generate the content and second agent to summarize the content, right? So this is how you can develop the multi-agent system as well. Getting my point? So single agent, multi-agent. Again, I'll quickly revise the content. We have started to discussion from the what we can say that uh, simple rule-based system. Okay, earlier system was simple rule-based system. Then machine learning came into the focus, where more focus is on the regression, classification, clustering kind of task. Then, in order to improve the performance, to work with images and other formats, we are using the deep learning. Then NLP, then computer vision came into the focus, and then later on, the generative AI that came into the focus. Uh, you might have heard about the paper "Attention All You Need," okay, by the Google in 2017. So based on that particular architecture, that generative system works again. And then uh, they you can use the AI agents. AI agents, that means small programs that can be used with the help of generative AI to perform the single task. But only AI agents are there? No. Multiple agents can work together, can communicate together, and to achieve the common goal. Just we have seen one example. One agent searches the information, or other agent summarize that information. That means what? More than one agent work together collaboratively, and they perform the common task, right? So this is how multi-agent system works, and this system is called as agentic AI system, where multiple agents work together to achieve the common goal, right? So if you have any other doubt, you can ask me. I'll share my LinkedIn profile with you. Okay. If you have any query, or rather, if you wanted to understand more about the agentic AI agent, whatever the little knowledge that I have having, okay, I can share my ideas with you, right? I'll share my profile. Just a second. Okay. If you're interested, you can connect with me on the LinkedIn. Okay, and you can send me the message on LinkedIn if you are more interested for that, right?
Yes, any questions from the participants?
Yes, thank you.
Sir,
That's all. Yes, yes, madam, please.
but there is one question: how to get resource about a genetic AI and its coding?
Just a second. It is in chat box, right?
Yes.
What is the question? How to get resources about agentic and its coding? Oh, since a lot of resources are available, but you can connect with me on the LinkedIn. Now, whatever resources that I have, I'll be sharing with you directly with the message with you, right? Lot many resources are available, but see, agentic AI system nowadays, we can say that it is rapidly evolving, right? So you need to check for all kind of frameworks, you need to check for all kind of process, and then you please start learning, right? Whatever we have discussed as of now, this is what we can say that just for the quick understanding, right? But if you want to develop the system, right, you must have to learn the contents in detail. So whatever resources that I have, I'll be sharing with you. You please message me on the LinkedIn, right? Yes. Any other? So
So there is
yes.
another question. As an electrical engineering, if I want to start research electrical plus AI, from where I have to start?
Oh, good question. See, sir, again, uh, if you might have heard the what we can say that the session from Andrew Ng, right? So podcast, I have somewhere I have listened that podcast of Andrew Ng. Andrew Ng, that means the owner of Google Brain, you can say that, or the Coursera, right? Who invented that? So he once he said that the AI is like electricity. Electricity, that means what? AI is nowadays, AI is everywhere, right? So that means what? Not, it is not limited to the IT, okay, but it is everywhere. So your question is like that. Let's say, for example, if you want what? If you want to start a research article, okay, if you want a research article and what? Plus AI. Okay, if you want to write to research article from AI, so where to start? That is good question. But again, what is the agenda? Because as I said that uh, if you want to start at one point, you must have to clear agenda with you. So if you see that research article plus AI is the generic domain, right? But do you have any specific agenda behind that? Because see, as I said that uh, being an electrical engineer, you have to identify some real world problem, right, related to your electrical. So I'm not very good in that particular domain, but you might be search for the smart grid system plus agentic AI, right, where you can uh, work on the various topic like multi-agent energy management kind of thing, right? AI based load forecasting, that can you can do, or fault detection system, right? Fault detection is the one of the what we can say that we can say that the domain which is familiar with everyone, right? So autonomous grid monitoring kind of system that you can develop, right? See, I have seen a few ideas, like few of our students, they will work on that kind of agentic AI framework for smart load balancing in microgrids. They came with that idea. I don't know what was into that, but yes, you can do for that. Or rather, you can go for the LLM powered intelligent system also, right? Not only what we can say that the agentic AI system, but sir, you can go for the predictive maintenance using AI kind of system as well, right? Lot many options are there. You can add one more component to that, not only electrical but also IoT also you can add into that, where you can build the smart automation system, like home automation is there, like energy efficient sensor, lot many things are there, right? But if still you want, you please connect with me. I'll try to provide the detailed content whatever I have, right?
Yes, any questions?
Thank you, sir. Supriya madam, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Professor Sonia Dhotre. On behalf of Department of Computer Engineering, Keystone School of Engineering, I propose a vote of thanks. I express my heartfelt thanks to today's speaker, Dr. Vivek Patil, for the informative and very engaging session. He covered various topics from generative AI to agentic intelligence, various roles like generative AI, AI agents, agentic AI, its model architecture, then very new concept like Phi data framework, Grok, Streamlit, DuckDuckGo, API keys, and AI nodes summarizer. I sincerely thank our director, Professor Yashodan Soman sir, Principal Dr. Sandeep Kadam sir, HOD Computer Department, Professor Sagar Raje Bhosle sir, management team, entire FDP organizing committee members, and all the participants for making day 3 successful. Kindly submit your feedback through the provided feedback link. Please turn on your camera for group photo. We will meet tomorrow on the same timing. Thank you and best wishes to all.